No one in the shelter expected anything good to happen. When the little girl in the wheelchair asked to meet the most dangerous dog they had, the staff exchanged nervous looks, their hands tightening around clipboards as they tried to gently steer her away. "That one isn't friendly," they warned again and again. "Please choose another." But the girl didn't listen. As her wheelchair rolled slowly toward the darkest kennel at the end of the hall, every breath in the room seemed to stop. Everyone braced for disaster, yet what happened next would leave the entire shelter speechless. I share news stories here every day, and I would really appreciate it if you hit subscribe and liked my video. Now let's jump back into my story. I'm sure you love it if you keep listening till the end. Tell me from which part of the world you are watching this story. I am interested to know how far away this story traveled. The dog inside that kennel had been there longer than anyone could remember. He was a massive bulldog with a scarred neck, a wide chest, and eyes the color of burnt amber. Fear followed him wherever he went. On his intake card, someone had written in bold red letters, "Aggressive. Use caution." Volunteers approached him with dread every morning. He paced endlessly, muscles tight, teeth bared, growling at anyone who dared come close. No treats worked. No soft words reached him. Many whispered that he was beyond saving. No one knew exactly what had broken him. He had been found wandering the outskirts of town, filthy and thin, a frayed rope still hanging from his collar. Ever since arriving at the shelter, he hadn't wagged his tail once. At night, when the building fell silent, his deep, aching howls echoed through the halls, haunting everyone who heard them. Slowly, hope for him faded. Then the little girl arrived. Her mother pushed her wheelchair through the shelter doors, the bell jingling softly. The girl's long brown hair was tied with a pink ribbon that matched the rims of her chair. She smiled politely at the calmer dogs. One licked her hand. Another wagged with excitement, but her eyes kept drifting toward the shadowy kennel at the end of the aisle when they reached it. The shelter manager rushed forward. "Sweetheart, maybe we skip this one," she said firmly. From inside the kennel, a low growl rolled like thunder. The dog's body stiffened, eyes locked on the moving wheels. "I want to meet him," the girl whispered. Her mother froze. The growl deepened. Fear rippled through the room. But something about the girl's calm voice made everyone step back. Slowly, her mother rolled the wheelchair closer until it stopped just inches from the bars. "Easy," the girl whispered, unsure if she was speaking to the dog or herself. "He's just scared." No one argued. She took a deep breath and spoke softly. She talked about how she hadn't wanted to be where she was either. How after she got hurt, she thought happiness was gone forever. Inside the kennel, something changed. The pacing stopped. The growling faded into a tired whine. The dog lowered his head for the first time, and the shelter staff stared in disbelief. The girl lifted her hand toward the cold steel bars. Her mother's heart pounding so loudly she could barely hear her own thoughts. Every instinct screamed to pull back, but the girl didn't. Her fingers hovered, trembling, yet steady with purpose. Inside the kennel, the bulldog flinched, stepping back as fear flashed across his scarred face. "It's okay," she whispered. "I'm not here to hurt you." For a moment, no one breathed. Then, with slow, uncertain steps, the dog moved forward again. His wet nose brushed against her fingertips. The girl gasped softly, turning her palm upward and waiting. The bulldog leaned in, pressing his heavy muzzle against her hand. A long, shaky sigh escaped his chest as his eyes fluttered shut. Years of tension seemed to drain from his body all at once. A volunteer covered her mouth, tears spilling down her cheeks. The shelter manager whispered, "I can't believe this." The girl gently stroked his scarred cheek. "You're not bad," she said softly. "You're just sad." When the bulldog opened his eyes again, they no longer looked dangerous. They looked tired. And hopeful, she patted her lap gently. "Come here." For the first time since arriving at the shelter, the dog crawled forward instead of backing away. He rested his heavy head against her arm, trembling as if afraid the moment might disappear. The entire shelter seemed to exhale together. Grown adults wept openly. The girl's mother dropped to her knees, pressing a hand to her chest. She hadn't seen her daughter smile like that since the accident, not a big smile, but a real one. The dog leaned deeper into the girl's lap, his growls and pacing gone. In their place was a quiet trust, a belonging. He's never let anyone touch him before. A volunteer whispered. The girl rested her cheek against his head. "You were waiting for someone to love you," she murmured. "And I was waiting too." That afternoon, adoption papers were signed without hesitation. No one mentioned danger. No one mentioned warnings. Everyone knew something extraordinary had happened. Weeks later, the bulldog walked proudly beside the girl's wheelchair down their street, matching her slow pace. Neighbors stopped to watch, wiping away tears as they witnessed the bond between them. And in that small town, everyone agreed on one thing. The day they met was the day they both came back to life. Because sometimes, healing doesn't come from strength, but from understanding. And sometimes, the most broken souls save each other. Thanks for watching till end. Please like and subscribe my channel. I will be very thankful to you.